Hey, how you doing out there today? My name's Anthony, risen survivor. I have an incurable cancer. I've said that many times before. I've come back from hospice through the grace of God, paralyzed over a year and a half, beaten several odds through a lot of support, through a lot of faith, and a lot of strength. And today I want to speak a little bit about pre-existing conditions, insurance, especially medications, the stress that you might go through dealing with getting some of these specialty medications through your insurance company, and maybe some of the tools and things that might help you deal with this stress by going through this. See, cancer does not discriminate. It doesn't discriminate against race, against sex, against religion, and it certainly doesn't discriminate against rich or poor. And as wealthy as a person can be, they can have all the money in the world and not be able to find a cure or be healed by a particular cancer, or just be so far gone with their body. And someone could be poor like me and be blessed and come back from something that they're not supposed to come back from. Now, we definitely have to have insurance out there, and we definitely want to make sure, I don't want to make this about politics, but when you get out there and vote, you want to make sure that whoever you vote for does not want to cut pre-existing conditions out of insurance plans. Because I'm sure either one day you're going to know somebody with cancer, someone in your family is going to have cancer, and I don't want to say that you will have cancer, because I would never want to wish this upon anybody. But a friend, somehow cancer will affect somebody in your life. And this is very serious. But insurance is very important. And I don't want to bash insurance companies, but they do know what they're doing. And when insurance companies stop looking at us as human beings and just start looking at us as profit margins and dollar signs, it's really not a good thing. That's a very sad situation, because we're not really wired to be that way. We're supposed to love and care and have compassion for people, and we're not taught to hate and not care for one another in life. And stress is a major factor. And stress is one of the leading causes of death in America. And stress leads to heart problems. Cancer is one of the leading causes of death in America. And I mean, if you combine stress and cancer together, and you have a recipe for disaster. So it is imperative that you have some tools out there, whether it be faith in God with prayer, yoga, meditation of some sort. Acceptance is a very, very important part of dealing with cancer. I mean, it's a hard thing to do when you hear those words that you have cancer. I heard the words that I had cancer, and I also heard the words it metastasized, ran through my body. There's nothing they could do about it after I was paralyzed, and I was sent off to hospice to die. And I accepted my fate, and I accepted that I was going to die. That was over 5 years ago now. and I am still here. But when I accepted that and I made my peace with it, there was no longer any stress. I mean, I didn't give up, and I'm not telling you by accepting to give up. So don't think acceptance means giving up. That means just accept that you have it. You have to own it and you can defeat it. Don't let cancer be a word that scares you. But acceptance is more important than you really think. Because once you've accepted something, then you know how to defeat it, you know how to fight it. You can start coming up with different strategies and different ways to combat it. And you don't have to fear it. Proper rest is another thing that you need. I would say support is a major, major, major thing. I implore you to have support around you and don't push people away. I know not a lot of people have, not everybody has family and support. But there are all kinds of groups out there. There are places online that you can find other cancer survivors, other people who are fighting cancer. You can find support somewhere, even through your doctors, your nurses. Some way out there, you have to find a support system. You also can use like Tai Chi, martial arts. I know when we're in very bad shape, but still, it's just the mentality part of it. But you have to find some kind of tools to combat the stress and to take your mind off of these things when you go through this. Because, see, I get a specialty medication. I have an incurable cancer, so my cancer, they haven't come up with a cure for yet. So every year, and also, like I said before, I'm not rich, so I am poor. But, well, I'm probably middle class. I don't really consider poor because there are really people much more unfortunate than I am. I feel blessed, but I still don't fall into that category, and I still hadn't retired. So obviously, whenever I got my cancer, obviously, I'm on Social Security. There's Medicare, Medicaid, and those things are programs. People call them entitlements. They're not. We pay into that, and I pay into that every day I worked in my life. I always worked my whole life, okay? And I paid into these programs. So I'm not a freeloader, but I definitely did not want cancer. I would love to be out there working every day and earning a living and not having to have insurance. But when you do, you get a new insurance every year. And if you have a specialty medication, it is the worst and red tape to go through to get your medication. And fortunately, I don't have to have IV treatment anymore. I still have my port that has to get flushed. So you probably can't see it through there, but I have a dual port, titanium port, for intravenous chemotherapy. But through the grace of God, I don't go through that anymore. Now I go more of a chemotherapy pill, which is actually this right here is what I take. And it's very expensive, and you have to have a prior authorization to get your medications. And in 2019, I went almost 4 months without getting my maintenance medication because of all the red tape and problem with insurance. I had to drop the insurance, pick another insurance company, go through this. I felt so bad because my doctors and nurses, they have so many other patients out there, and I feel like I'm making them work harder on me when there's other people out there that they need to take care of, and I feel horrible that they do. And not only cancer has to do specialty medications, multiple sclerosis has specialty medications, Parkinson's has specialty medication, asthma has specialty medications, hemophilia, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, growth hormones. There's all kinds of reasons that you have to go through these special authorizations and specialty pharmacies. See, I can't go to a regular pharmacy to get this medication. it has to be shipped to my home or shipped to a pharmacy and filled at a specialty pharmacy. And it seems like it has caused so much problems and so much stress. And if I didn't have the tools that I was talking about, I don't know what I would have done, because even me with being grounded, it still causes so much stress, and stress to my caregiver, and I'm sure it probably causes stress to my oncology team as well, having to go through these things. But that's not fair. That's the part of the insurance that's wrong, because they know you need this medication to be alive. It's not like I want to take a radiation pill every day. That's not something I choose to take. And they know this. But yet they still make you go through hoops. And sometimes it's almost as if they want to cause you that stress to compound the stress with the terminal disease you have, to almost make you pass away quicker, to the deny till you die mentality, to where these insurance companies are literally, and I mean literally, getting away with murder, because we don't know how many people have died because of the stress they have getting their medications. Now, I don't want to say insurance is out there killing people, because they help a lot of people too, and it is a blessing, because without insurance, I wouldn't be able to cover the cost of the medications that they are. And like I said, it's just something out there that you have to really take into consideration. But also, it's something that needs to be fixed, because it shouldn't be that hard. And if anything, maybe we should be writing our legislature next year around and see if we can do something about these medications that we have out there and make it easier. Because I'm not saying for me, because I want my life easier, but when you're dealing with something like cancer or multiple sclerosis or any kind of disease that's already bad, Parkinson's, things like that, you don't want a family member to also have the stress as well, because for a lot of people, it's their final weeks, months, years, and they shouldn't have to spend the rest of their lives having to fight with insurance companies and have stress and things like that. We are America, and we should have a better healthcare system here. And once again, I'm not trying to push for politics, but there's a lot of other countries out there that have better healthcare systems than we do. And it's not socialism, and I'm not calling it socialism, but I know that we can do better. Let me just say that. I know we can do better regardless what party it is. But there's just some things going on today to where they have tried already to kick 23 million people off of health care, and worked up to 30 million people. And I hope some people take into consideration what we already go through having a disease like that. And we go through stress as well. And I just hope that maybe a few words that I kind of babbled on here maybe hit home to a few people. And if you leave me any comments or anything, I'd be happy to get back with you and let you know of some things that have helped me and worked for me. I will keep all of you on my prayers. God bless you. Thank you so much for listening.